The following is a talk given by His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj on March 30th, 2013 in Sri Mayapur, India. The talk was given at the International Bhakti Vriksha Convention on day 2.
Pakakroti Chalam Pangolangaya Tegan Yat Kita Tamahan Mande Sigram Nirainam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Swaram. That was a nice show from Ramnadesh.
That was a nice show
from Damodar
from Damodar Desh.
We know that where there are youths engaged in Krishna consciousness, it's very enlightening.
We know that where there are youths engaged in Krishna consciousness, it's very enlivening.
In northern Malaysia, the youths around the BCC, they have organized themselves nicely.
In the north of Malaysia, the youth around the BCC, they have organized themselves nicely.
In England, you have the Pandava Sena.
In England, they have the Pandava Sena,
who marched on Parliament years ago.
Who marched on the Parliament a few years ago.
And that was the biggest manifestation ever.
That was the biggest manifestation ever
in history of the UK.
In the history of the UK.
To ensure that the temple Bhaktivedanta Manor was kept open.
To ensure that the temple Bhaktivedanta Manor was kept open.
Now, the Pandava Sena has different college and university preaching programs.
Now, the Pandava Sena have different college and university preaching programs.
What we want to see is that Bhakti Vriksha can also be useful for the youth.
What we want to see is that Bhakti Vriksha can also be useful for the youths.
And if the youth, we don't like that letter from Prabhupada to one youth.
Like there is a letter from Srila Prabhupada to a youth.
That's called, I like to send it. He likes to send it. That's a code word.
This is a letter from Srila Prabhupada to Durgesh, written on 16 December 1974. By all means, you should continue practicing Krishna consciousness every day, but that does not necessarily mean that you have to move into the temple immediately. Thank you very much for your sentiments. It appears that you have understood our philosophy very nicely, and that's a great boon for someone who is as young as yourself. The perfection of human existence is to somehow or other develop Krishna consciousness. And the sooner that one can develop his Krishna consciousness, the better. Not that I will wait until I become old man, then I will become spiritually advanced. No, it is better if one starts immediately. So there is no question of your discontinuing your efforts in Krishna consciousness. By all means, you should continue practicing Krishna consciousness every day. But that does not necessarily mean that you have to move into the temple immediately. It is also important to get some education. So for some years, you should remain studying in school. But on the weekends, with your parents' permission, you can go to the temple and stay there. But do not fall behind in your schoolwork.
So, here Prabhupada was encouraging a youth how a youth should develop his or her Krishna consciousness.
So here Srila Prabhupada was encouraging a youth how he or she can develop his or her Krishna consciousness.
Someone was reading to me quotes, but then I said mark it, and then they don't find it.
I was reading different quotes and I asked them to mark them, but then they couldn't find them anymore.
So, in one place, he also told.
You have?
In one place.
Yeah. In one place, he also told.
If I said read them, he told that the youth should preach to the hostels.
In one place, Srila Prabhupada says that the youth should preach to the hostels.
Where he's going to school, he or she stays in some hostel, preach to the hostel mates.
So, when he or she stays in a hostel, he or she can preach to the hostel's mates.
We have the example of Prahlad Maharaj.
He gave the example of Prahlad Maharaj.
How Prahlad, his teachers were against, his students were demons.
And how the teachers were against, and the children were also demons.
Or sons of demons.
Or at least sons of demons.
But he preached anyway.
But he preached to them anyway.
And he got them all to chant, dance.
And he got all of them to chant and dance.
If the youths are engaged in preaching, then they'll automatically get a taste.
If the youths are engaged in preaching, then automatically they will get a taste.
Or otherwise they like dramas, they like music.
Otherwise they like dramas, they like music.
They have lots of energy.
They have a lot of energy.
And we need to utilize that energy in Krishna's service.
And we need to utilize that energy in Krishna's service.
That also, Prabhupada, he got a quote on changing.
There's another quote from Srila Prabhupada on
changing the world.
Changing the world. So this is a letter to Krishna Devi, dated 21st August 1968. Regarding the child problem, I may inform you that all our children born of the Krishna conscious parents, they are welcome. And I want hundreds of children like that. Because in future we expect to change the face of the whole world. Because child is the father of man.
So, here Prabhupada, he reveals his actual purpose.
Here Srila Prabhupada reveals his actual purpose.
In 1968.
In 1968.
At that time, there were only 3 temples.
At that time, there were only 3 temples.
I know, I saw all of them.
I know, I saw all of them.
That's when I joined.
After I joined.
Then in San Francisco, New York, and Montreal.
in San Francisco, New York, and Montreal.
Soon after that was LA, Vancouver.
Soon after that, there was Los Angeles, Vancouver.
So, Prabhupada said that our purpose is to change the face of the world.
So Srila Prabhupada said our purpose is to change the face of the world.
He had a very big vision.
He had a very big vision.
And youth should be inspired that they are a very important part of the vision.
And the youths should be inspired that they are a very important part of that vision.
One Bhakti Vriksha member in Chennai, he told me
One Bhakti Vriksha member in Chennai, he told me
that he didn't want his children to accuse him.
he didn't want his children to accuse him
That, Father, we were children, we were youth. We didn't know what to do or not to do.
that we were children, we were youth, we did not know what to do, what not to do.
So naturally we did the wrong thing.
And naturally we did the wrong thing.
And you let us go to hell.
And you let us go to hell.
It's all your fault.
It's all your fault.
I want to teach my children the best I know.
I want to teach my children the best I know.
And when they grow up, they're free to go any way they want.
When they grow up, they're free to go any way they want.
But at least I gave them what I believe to be the best.
But at least I gave them what I believe is the best.
So, all these things, we see that our youth, they need some Krishna conscious engagement.
So within all these things, we see that our youths need some Krishna conscious engagement.
And Radhe Shyam in Pune, he found that for the youths in the university, that the Bhakti Vriksha was more useful.
Radhe Shyam Prabhu in Pune, he found that for the university students, Bhakti Vriksha was more useful.
That although they practiced a lot the council program, it was not so interesting for the youth.
Although they practiced a lot the counselor program, it was not so interesting for the youth.
It was more applicable to the initiated devotees.
It was more applicable to the initiated devotees.
So he has Bhakti Vriksha groups for youth.
So he has Bhakti Vriksha groups for youths.
So this, in this line, if the organizers in the different temples also see that youths may like this Bhakti Vriksha system.
So in this line, other organizers should also see that the youth may be more inclined to the Bhakti Vriksha system.
It's highly interactive.
It's a highly interactive.
And a lot of discussion.
A lot of discussion.
They can organize group outings and programs.
As organized groups, outreach programs.
Group outings. group outings.
Outings, group outings and programs.
So, if they get a taste for teaching, then that will stay with them.
If they get the taste for preaching, that will stay with them.
To actually help others, to help other youths.
To actually help other youths.
So, otherwise, maybe our youths, they think that the only way is what everyone else is doing.
Otherwise, our youth think that the only way is whatever everybody else is doing.
Or they think that the purpose of life is just to enjoy the senses.
And they may think that the purpose of life is just to enjoy the senses.
And the real purpose of life is to develop our Krishna consciousness.
The real purpose of life is to develop our Krishna consciousness.
To solve the problems of birth, death, old age, and disease.
To solve the problems of birth, death, old age, and disease.
So, like this, in our Bhakti Vriksha, I also found that when we would give seminars on Bhakti Vriksha, there would be children. So you had a children's group just to keep them busy, basically.
I also saw when I was giving a seminar on Bhakti Vriksha that we have a children group just to keep them busy.
But actually the adult that was with them said that the young children, they had so many ideas and questions. They were very active in the Bhakti Vriksha group.
But the adult I was with, he was saying how the children have many ideas and on how to be active in a Bhakti Vriksha group. Can be very active in a Bhakti Vriksha group.
So, this is one of the programs to keep youths engaged.
This is one of the programs to keep the youths engaged
in Krishna consciousness.
In Krishna consciousness.
It would be nice to have some little time we devote every convention to how we engage the youth.
It would be nice to devote some time at every convention on how we engage the youth.
I'm a sannyasi.
I am a sannyasi.
What do I know?
What do I know?
I know theory.
I know theory.
But you know the practical.
But you know the practical.
I see how much energy, how much love, how much care the parents give to their children.
I see how much time, how much energy, how much love parents give to their children.
And in the time that you have them with you,
in the time in which you have them with you,
to give them the maximum interest and maximum experience of Krishna consciousness.
It would be nice if you can, in the time you have them with you, give the maximum experience and the maximum interest in Krishna consciousness.
Because it's understood that the association of non-devotees and the schools of colleges, they're going to be very negative.
Because it's understood that the association with non-devotees would be very negative.
Unless they actually have already awakened to the possibility of engaging all these other colleagues.
Unless they also use the opportunity to engage all their colleagues.
I saw in Chennai, the ladies organized a beauty show, what do you call it, a dress show, fashion show.
I saw how in Chennai the ladies organized a fashion show
amongst the youth.
And
it attracted thousands of youth girls.
And it attracted thousands of young girls.
And there are programs in different colleges around India.
There are programs in different colleges around India.
Also, I saw in Russia, they have some friendship university, which has international students.
And also I saw in Russia there's something called Friendship University with international students.
From Malaysia, from India, from various parts.
From Malaysia, from India, from various parts.
So they were also happy to engage in some kind of Krishna conscious programs.
They were also happy to engage in some kind of Krishna conscious programs.
Like that, we see that in South America, the youth put on dramas and they like to engage in different activities together.
Like that, for instance, in South America, we see the youths they like to put up dramas and engage in such type of activities.
In some places, the Sunday program is a project that the youth take up.
In some places, the Sunday program is a project that the youth take up.
They distribute prasadam. They do everything but the cooking.
They distribute prasadam, they do everything but the cooking.
They help, because if they can do things together, that itself is very enjoyable for them.
They help, whatever they can do together, in itself is a help for them.
So even though they're somewhat menial tasks, but because it's for Krishna, because all the youths were involved, they are very happy.
And even though there are somewhat menial tasks, because all the youths are engaged together, they are somehow happy to do them.
So this aspect of our convention is kind of put together at the last minute.
This aspect of our convention is kind of put together at the last minute.
Otherwise, I'm sure that in many cities of the world, there are different programs of youth.
Otherwise, I'm sure that in many cities of the world, there are many programs for youth.
And it would be nice to show some.
It would be nice to show some.
And give you all ideas how to engage your youth.
And to give you ideas how to engage your youths.
And how to engage them to Bhakti Vriksha and awakening other youths.
And how to engage them in Bhakti Vriksha and into awakening other youths.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Hare
Krishna, Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare